Hi there, this is Kate from Tested, and I'm here with my 2025 favorite things. I usually try and pick things for my list every year that either I've been using a lot throughout the year and saved my butt on a project, or something fun I discovered that I just want other people to know about. So here are 5 of my favorite things from this year. Up first, I have a cardboard cutter. I think a lot of people are familiar with these. They're becoming a lot more popular because if you're anything like me, you order a lot of things online, you have an insane pile of cardboard boxes that you're gonna have to deal with, and this really can help you break down those boxes on a day-to-day basis or be useful on a project. So this is what mine looks like. Of course, I didn't buy it because it was pink, but when I picked out the one I wanted and it also came in pink, I was gonna get it because if there's a chance to have color, I want it. There are a few different styles of cardboard cutters out there, and I talked to some of my friends who used other kinds and asked them what worked for you, what didn't work for you. I know that there was an issue with some where as you're cutting, it would wanna make you tilt to one direction. I'm not saying this one doesn't also do some of that, but I find it works really well. It also has the sort of scissor-like mouth right here that you guide into. I use this to help make my kids' Halloween costume. Anything that's gonna save my hand, either the dragging of a knife or the squeezing of scissors, this is really great. I won't say that it zooms right through something. It's not like so powerful that it just leads itself, but all you have to do is push the button and slowly let it go. And you don't need a lot of force. It really helps you get through a project faster and easier and save you that hand strain. You push the trigger lock and then you pull the trigger and it starts going. And there you go. Very easy. I really like this. I think that you would find yourself using it for fun to cut up a lot more than you need to. Like when I go to break down the boxes, instead of just doing it in a way that makes them go flat the fastest, I find myself just being like, how many pieces can I get this cut into? This one has multiple modes. So you can use a different amount of force. You basically just twist this back part here and it selects how much I think resistance or what gear it's in. So yeah, this thing has been super useful for me. I find myself using it all the time. It has not, as of yet, given me any problems. This was just one that I found on Amazon, but there are so many different styles. I'm sure that at some point I'm gonna find a problem with this one, but it hasn't happened yet, so I'm really happy with it. Next up, I have the paint puck. This was something that I got an ad for online, and I'm such a sucker for anything to do with paint that I was like, all right, I'll try that. Now it looks silly and funny right here, and you might not be able to tell what it does, but this is in its storage mode. So when I'm ready to use it, I actually pop it out. This is all made of silicone. I used to have a water bottle that worked like this too, actually. So as you see now, it stands up. It is a bowl for water. It has a textured bottom for cleaning your brush. There are holes all around the edge for standing your paintbrush afterwards to let it dry. And then there are even little divots on this bottom foot that allow you to use it as a paint palette. So I can use it down here to get paint on my brush. I can also use this as a place to mix my colors together. I can get a little bit of the paint off of my brush if I'm wanting to do some dry brushing. Then when I'm ready to clean up, I've filled this with some water. I am now swirling, swishing, brushing against the bottom here, the textured surface. I can use this inside part here to squeeze off excess water. To be honest, I still always will take a rag or a paper towel and dry it, squeeze it out some more. You want it as dry as possible. Reshape your bristles, and then pick which of these is the right size for your brush. I'm going to say that one. See, there we go. I have tested it with a few different paint brushes to make sure everything would fit here. So you can do a chip brush, you can do an acid brush, and then more of your traditional sized regular old paintbrushes, even your craft brushes. So this is a really handy little system. It's great for travel. I sometimes have to take my stuff on the road, and this is really nice. I know that I have a palette and a stand and a, water cleaning station all in one. Next up, we have a knife. Now, if you've seen any of my favorite things videos over the past, 8 years or something, I've probably done quite a few knives. And I always laugh when I go, you know what I'm going to do this year? I'm going to do a knife. Because I'm always doing cutting instruments of some kind. But this is a new one. And whenever I find a new toy, I just have to give it a shot. I liken it to, is it like chefs who have many different knives for different things, and then they have their favorites and they pull them out on different occasions. So this is my chef's knife. This one is by Olfa, who, if you've done any use of utility knives, snap knives, they are a pretty good, reliable brand. I have not had many problems with an Olfa in the past, and I tend to prefer them. I've never used what would you call this? A pen knife along the lines of an X-Acto blade, a craft knife. I've never used one by them. So when I found out that they had one, we have a friend of the channel, Mark, who said, you have to try this knife. You have to. And I'm like, okay, sold. So I got it. One of the things about it is it's quite small. As you can see, this is a precision one. So this isn't necessarily for doing a lot of big work. You're going to be able to do a lot of detail cutting with this. I have since found out they do make a larger one that uses standard X-Acto blades. So if that's what you're looking for, they also have that option. This one has been really nice for doing detail work. The other thing I like about it is down here, it has basically like what do you call it? A spudger, a fid, like a little burnishing tool, a little scraper, whatever you want to call it. And so I find myself using this in a lot of ways. It's sort of like the extra tool on the back that you can just use to push some stuff around if you need to. This one has a really nice grip on it. I do like a metal grip, and it has a lovely collet. And the thing about this collet is it really locks the blade in. I think I've struggled, as many of you have, with blades coming out or getting loose. And this one I just don't have that problem with. That is the blade as it comes out. Here's the lovely little trough for it to go into in that collet. This blade does not come loose. I have yet to have it come out or get twisted sideways or anything, and that can be very helpful when you're doing a lot of work. It comes with, this cover, as they usually do. I don't know why, but I find it fascinating that it's a squared off cover that then goes into a triangle shape at the top, but it's all for a round tool. It's something I just keep looking at. I'm not sure why it's like that. I have the replacement blades here. I do recommend, if you were to order this, order it with replacement blades, because the number one thing I always say in every video that I do about cutting, change your blade more often than you think you need to. The minute that you start to get frustrated on a job, before you figure out what's wrong, this material isn't right, just change your blade. And I think instantly you're going to see some better results, because people really try and get the most they can out of these, but they start to dull the minute that they're made. So use it for a bit, swap it out, keep your lines clean. So always buy your replacement blades. Next up, we have this tool. Now, if you have seen the video that Norm and I did on Tested Team about the Sideshow Jaws collectible figure that we turned into a submarine called Jacques Cousteau. Amazing project. I had so much fun on that. But as I was trying to put the panel lines on the shark body, I was having a heck of a time. I was using a Dremel, and it just wasn't giving me the control I wanted. Either if it were the large, battery operated Dremel, still too big, I used then the attachment wand, the flex shaft. That was not giving me the motion I needed. I would try to curve my hand, and then that big hose would get caught up. And I was getting really frustrated, and I thought, they make engraving tools. It might be very shaky, but I should try something like that. So I went into a deep dive of research. I love an excuse to get a new tool. And I came up with this, and I was very surprised to find how small this is, because I'm used to engraving tools in the past that are quite clunky, and they're very like rattly, like it feels like you're using a jackhammer. This was a complete surprise and a very pleasant one. It comes with these stencils. Admittedly, I have not used any of them because I've only used this for, specific projects that I needed. But if you were to do some crafting and you wanted to, I don't know, engrave, etch into a material with specific pictures, seems like it could be worth a try. You could also probably reuse these for paint. And here is the tool. What I liked about this one is that it did come with all of these bits. I have a collection of these same sort of diamond bits myself, but it's nice to always have backups because, it's very easy to burn through some of these or snap them off. It charges via USB, which is pretty nice, and it charges relatively quick. I want to say between 30 to 45 minutes. I had a usable thing because I did run out of battery a few times since I was working on this day and night. So not too long for a recharge. And the way that it works is you would pick a bit. I can tell all of the bits that I used a lot on this job because they all have this burn line on the bottom. And what's neat about this is there's no collet to undo. There's no locking mechanism. You really just push it into place. Because you're not drilling and then having to pull back, there's never really going to be like a tension in that direction to need it to lock into place. So if I wanted to remove it, I just pull it back out. And then to use it, you push the red button. And there are 3 speeds. So that's 1, 2, 3, off. So it turns on at the highest speed, and then you can lower it, and then turn it off. I guess it can be annoying, like if I was doing this and somebody started talking to me and I needed to turn it off, it means I need to hit the button, 2 or 3 times. But I can do that pretty quickly, so that's my one complaint. It works really well. I have so much precision and control in this. It has a cushy grip, which I like, and it's ergonomically shaped, so I'm not just holding this big metal barrel. And yeah, I was able to get in and do extremely fine detail work. I did see somebody comment on the video and say, "What tool is that?" And I was very happy to know that people were interested in this because it was such a lifesaver to me. So one of the things how I did the panel lines on the shark for that, I have a bendable, what do you call it? Straight edge kind of thing. And it's used a lot in, say, architecture. And so I would round it around the body, get the straight line I wanted, hold it in place, and then use this and drag it down along a few times to get the depth that I wanted. Then when there was detail work to be done, I believe that I used a pin vise for some of the rivet holes. And then I came in here and I deepened some of those. I was able to, sharpen up some of the mouth area. You can use it basically as a sander in some cases with some of these larger bits because these are diamond files. So it's all very useful. But this was super handy. I really liked it. It was cheap. And I knew that if all it did was get me through the one job, it would have paid for itself. And it definitely did that. And it's still kicking. So I definitely recommend this one. Again, there were many other types to choose from. I know that this is the one I got and I liked it. So I stand by it. All right. And now we are on to my last piece. These are, surprise, surprise, a cutting device. I love scissors. I love knives. This is just what I do. Again, I've mentioned before, sometimes I will get ads for things and really I'm just curious about how they work. So I'll go for it sometimes just to say that I tried. And at the end of the day, if I didn't love these scissors, oh no, I have another pair of scissors. I always need a pair. So even bad scissors are better than no scissors. These ones, you'll see exactly why I got them. They are beautiful. But the thing that sold me was not just their color. They had a very good pitch. about the science of how they laid these out, how they are constructed out of single piece on each side. You aren't going to have a lot of the weak spots that you get in some where it is a metal shaft that then very narrowly connects to, say, plastic handle. This is solid one, so you're always going to be able to rely on how strong it is right at that neck. You can see this connector piece here is quite good. And then these ones also have a bit of a rubberized handle up here. I like a solid metal scissor. I've used them much in the past, but they are not always the most comfortable on my hands. So something that has even just a little bit of padding is really helpful. Also, if you're anything like me, I not infrequently pinch myself in between this part here, particularly when I'm working. I don't even know how it's physically possible. I feel like I get my palm caught in there. I'm a clumsy person. And having that bit of rubber right there really helps, especially it's the difference between an ouch and a blood blister. You know, it's that kind of a thing. So I can definitely appreciate that. Obviously, these are colorful. And while a lot of people write that kind of thing off, I don't. Yes, it has to be a good quality to start with. I'm not just going to go for something that's pretty. It needs to work. It needs to last. It needs to do its job. But I don't understand why the whole world has been continuously desaturated. You can see some of those charts of like the way things used to be painted and the colors of products and things like cars. And we're just getting less and less and less and less. And I don't need everything to be gray in my life. So if I can have a really beautiful pair of scissors at hand, it keeps me happy. Like when I look down and I see something like this, I think like, oh, yay. But I think that's also very obvious for who I am, what I wear, what I surround myself with. So that's just me. But if you could use a little color in your life, I highly recommend these. I think that a good pair of scissors is something everyone should have. I've been known to gift them to people with like a new house or somebody going off to college. I'm like, here, this is going to last you your whole life. So these are now in contention with the kind of brand I might get for somebody if I wanted them to have a quality pair of scissors that would last. So first we have some fabric. And I don't know if I've said this before, but I'm definitely one of those people who has fabric only scissors. And if you ever cut anything else other than fabric, I will hunt you down and make you sorry. But to show you how nice these are, I can show you as they're new. It truly just glides through there. It's lovely. I'm going to give you a little bit of ASMR and lean into this sound because I love it. I'm a sucker for really beautiful sounds like that. But yeah, this works really smoothly. I enjoy it. It doesn't get caught up. It doesn't fray the edge like that when you get caught and it makes it jagged. But especially here, I'll pull this one tight. Oh, lovely. So it does work on fabric. Again, that's not my main use of these, but if you wanted these to be your fabric scissors, I'm sure you could. Oh, it's like butter. Oh, it truly is. It's like every time I've been using these for a while, but every time I use it, it just makes me happy and go, oh yeah, the right tool for the job. This makes me want to take up, paper cutting, or like I want to make some snowflakes for Christmas time or something with these. Here, and I'll fold these over a bunch so we now have many layers of paper. I can show you. It requires a little bit more of an effort, but not much, and it still goes through quite nicely. And then just for fun, I want to see what it's like to cut through this plastic. Now, if you're trying to keep these pristinely amazing, you might not want to be using them on so many different types of materials, but that's totally on you. Like whatever you choose to use your scissors with, that's fine. I'm sure you can sharpen them. That's something I need to learn about as an adult. See, that works quite nicely. I'm not actually using very much force. And so it's saving. Normally, when I do something like this part of my hand gets very sore. I get a lot of red mark. And I'm exerting a lot of force right there. And I'm just not feeling it right now. So anything that saves that kind on my hand is useful. And let's say last step, I'll do this vinyl. I end up with a lot of vinyl that I have to cut through anyway. See, this feels almost exactly like just thin paper. You wouldn't know that this was basically a plastic material. But yeah, this is lovely. I'm loving these scissors. I think if you're looking for a fun little treat, something to brighten your day and make your life a little bit easier, these are a very good choice. All right, this has been my favorite things of 2025. I hope that you have liked some of my objects. Let me know if you have tried any of them and what you think. And if you have any suggestions based on my weird interests, I'm always looking for new fun toys. And as you can see, I like to keep all the things that I recommend to things that are affordable and attainable. So I hope that I get to learn a little bit more from you as well. Stay tuned for some of my friends' favorite things of 2025, and I'll see you next time.